Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Why Oops Podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Morphanua,
And I'm
and
Ely.
to my left, yes, Ely. What's up, Queen? Also known as Queen.
What's
Those
up?
that are tuning into the, go ahead, cuz, you know what I'm saying?
No, no, no. Go ahead. I'm just saying, what's up to everybody? What's up to you, Cuzzo?
We got to work on that one, right? So when I say to you, then you're just going to kind of say something and I'll wait, then jump in, right? You know,
Yeah,
with the
you want to work
introduction
on
and
it while
stuff.
we're live? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're live. Three, two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Why Oos Podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Mofanua,
And I'm Ely.
and we are the hosts of Why Oos Podcast, brought to you by Riverside FM. Well, we're at least using that to stream, so shout out
I'm
to
just
Riverside
saying,
FM.
we ain't sponsored by them.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't got it over here. I'm trying to still figure out how to work that for those that are tech savvy or those that I like to say that are really good on computers. If you feel like, man, I can work on these, I can help these guys out. Come on to the Wahoo's podcast, man. We will post everything for you. And let me see right here. Go ahead and contact us at right there. Boom. Service at whyoos.com. We will respond to you. It will be most likely Ely that will be replying back to you. You know what I'm saying? So we can get this thing
Exactly.
rolling.
That's right.
Yeah. But tonight's topic, we're gonna be talking about the man himself that's been on all over social media, from YouTube, TikTok, ESPN, the main news. The man himself, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, shout out to OG Stephen A. Smith. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be covering a few things. His controversial with LeBron James, his talk with bringing Candace Owens on his what is that? I forgot the
Straight
name of his
talk,
show.
is it?
Straight shooter, something like that. You know what I mean? But what do we know? We're just coconuts that are here to share our opinions on it, but also share what the media is sharing about. For those that missed out on it, don't worry about it. That's why we're here to cover all that for y'all. You know what I mean? So stay tuned, y'all. I'm about to play a little bit of something, get us rolling. Rewind.
Let's go. It's coming. Here we go. Hey, hello. Oh, it's the Stephen A. Smith Show.
For real, man. First of all, congratulations to Stephen A. Smith for signing a 4 or 5 year contract. I don't know the numbers. I don't know if you know the numbers, but it was apparently a real big one. That's something that NBA players or big sports players can get paid for. And it's a big deal because not only that, salute to the man. He's an African American brother who has been able to open another chapter, pretty much kick down the door for those minorities like ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
I'm telling
big
you,
honor. It's a big honor for the man.
it's paving the way.
Yeah. So if you know anything about him, man, drop a comment below. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna first one. I want to say this. Let's make Stephen A. Smith the most powerful voice in sports, or no? What makes him? That's my question, Queen. What makes him the most powerful voice in sports today? Why do you think? Why do you think that's the case?
Well, he's very controversial. Not controversial, but he's very adamant when he speaks, and he's just straightforward, and he calls it like it is, and he's very charismatic, and he's very animated when he speaks. I remember the first time I seen him was on the first take. That's when I start seeing Stephen A. Smith. Um, after we watch a lot of football, so when you see Stephen A. Smith, he I just love his energy, his vibe, and the way he just speaks on things, and he clowns on people. This guy, not only he clowns, but he's a great storyteller. Getting everything all geared up for the sports and stuff, and his partner at the time was Skip. I mean, those two were like the best I think they were the best because it's just the way they connected very well, and when they spoke on teams or uh, athletes, it was very entertaining. And then that why do you think he's here where he's at now? He's got his own podcast show, the Stephen A. Show. He just launched, was it a few days, and it's already got 1.2 million subscribers. It, it's insane. This guy, and we'll talk more about the fact that how he is now being labeled like how Candace Owens is being labeled. But we'll talk about that down. But as Stephen A. Smith, the voice, he has paved the way for all, I say, for minorities, because he has been up there, and it's just the way he carries himself. He's always in the suit when he's on there. I mean, I just like the way the man carries himself, and just a great person to listen to.
Stephen A. Smith is the reason why I started trying to learn new vocabularies, and it became a trend. A lot of hip hop podcasters and those don't want to admit it, but he's actually the one that influenced a lot of that because he'll be coming out with all these crazy him and Ti. So I don't know which one is which. Who started that whole vibe of these intellectual vocabularies that I myself couldn't even fathom. But I try my best to also, you know, put y'all on some games and some words that that I pick up on. So that's what I found out, and that's what makes him a powerful voice. Because, like you said, I've known about him for like 20 plus years. He covered a lot, and like you said, first take when him and Skip Bayless was doing their thing. He always used intellectual words that caught my attention. I'm like, whoa, this guy, he sounds like a doctor from somewhere. No, no, he's just a sport analyst, which is he made it to where, because back in the day, sports analysts was just people that was covering the news for us. But they took it to that, and he took it to that next level to where it's like it's the vibe right now. Everybody's trying to copy his
Hmm.
style. Everybody's trying to do debates like they did. They were, I want to say, they're probably the first ones to do all that kind of stuff. Tracking back to the way he does is what is it? He's like you said, Ely, his loudness. He's so passionate. He's unfiltered, and he's always stood for his community. One thing I admire by him, he always put a light on stuff that the main media back then. When I say main media, I'm talking about the regular sports news or regular news channel. It was just those people, and we all know that the it was more of Caucasians that was on the platform. And shout out to them too because they're the ones that created this whole television, made this whole social media thing happen, and for folks like us, where we're able to even have a platform to even have our own opinion. So shout out to him. I appreciate him a lot. He has a lot of haters, but he also has a lot of people that respects him. I mean, there are trends about the man talking about he's going to be the next president. You know,
Right.
there's talks of him, but he gives it. When he puts his when he's talking about a topic, whatever, whoever the athlete is, he's actually on point a lot of times. And of course the athletes like Kevin Durant, where he had his mom come on, to people were like taking it to heart, and it really was able to showcase to the world that because back in the days, when I say back in the days, and like when I was born in the 80s, you were so used to everything was already structured. Like there was no such thing as being loud on TV. There was no such thing as like arguing about players and stuff like that. It was like whatever the analysts say, that was it, and everybody believe it. It's like one
Hmm.
of those people that goes and judge a restaurant. Remember back in the days when people used to like write articles on a restaurant, and people
Yeah.
were, and that
Listen.
restaurant will lose value based on the person. And with this trend of Stephen A. Smith being a part of a minority, right, an African American descent, and having his community showcased on live TV, hey man, we're not gonna shut up. We're gonna like express our feelings too. I remember the one with Richard Sherman when the Seattle Seahawks made it, and Richard Sherman got on there. All these players coming up there to challenge him, and he always just stood his ground. You know what I mean? So it was amazing to see his rise and how he's continuing to go. So
Hmm.
I'm really excited about him, man.
Yeah, he, like I said, I just love his animation when he's up there debating against, on the first take show. And like you said, when he bring those athletes on there, like, you just mentioned his name, Sherman. Man, this Stephen A holds his ground. And then not only holds his ground, he just be spitting out facts. I mean, he just keep coming out, and he just does this, and this, and everything just coming out. I mean, he's very wit. When he speaks, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got all his. I mean, that's why he's one of a kind, and that's why he's all over. People are inviting him onto their podcasts, their shows. I forgot what show he mentioned that he's about to be on. I think tomorrow or today, when he was his show when he was talking about on the Stephen A. show. But yeah, for them to for folks to start talking about him being the next president for the Democratic Party. I mean, he debunked it by coming on the Fallon. What's his name? What's his name? Yeah, the Fallon show, and he was like, no, I'm not. I'm not running for president."
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that he's on. I mean, he just got on the Gills Arena show. That was 2 days ago. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, shoot, you name it. This guy was all over it. The Candace Owens one was like the most recent one. And then, I mean, even till now, people are still talking about it as we're going to it. Why do I have this jersey on? I figure it's a good time to wear it because the man himself, LeBron James, King James, had a, and like Stephen A. Smith said, it was like he didn't pay no mind to it. He respects LeBron and his opinion, and he was coming to him as a father. But he had no choice but to talk about it on First Take because that's who's paying him, and that's what that's what went viral. So we decided to bring that up. That's what was hot this week and last week. I mean, that's funny. Me and you was talking yesterday, like, hey, you got a topic, man? And the only thing we both decided, we're like, man, we just realized Stephen A. Smith was on. Just
He's everywhere. You just turn on the TikTok, go on social media, he's there. And so, I mean, the guy is hot right now. Even being on The View, and he talked about some of his views, because they were trying to talk about they did talk about the mandate, the numbers of Trump, and he basically just said, "Hey, I don't, I'm not a big fan or support Trump, but he just speaks facts. He's all facts matters because facts are the truth." And he's just saying the man won all the states, the electoral votes, the popularity vote. So it's just I just love when he speaks because he just brings out the facts, and that's what he sticks on. He stays on, and it goes back to the LeBron James con his conflict with him, how LeBron approached him courtside at a basketball game and basically told him you can see someone recorded it, but Stephen A was talking about this on his show, like, don't ever talk about my son. That's my effing son, man. And Stephen A was kind of confused, caught off guard, like, what the hell, try to talk to him, but he just walked off the court. So Stephen A covered that in detail twice on his show, last week's episode, and I believe and also this week's episode. So he went deep into it.
yeah, he did. And I think that's what I admire about him is the fact that we're so accustomed to as people to follow the crowd. And of course, people were like, to my surprise, more people were with Stephen A. Smith when that this situation happened, right? Because obviously the word was, according to social media, the word was, LeBron, if you're the one that advocated, well, you're the one that wanted to push your son to come and play for the Lakers. Now you need to, be a grown man and let you know this is what's going to happen. You can't protect your son. He's a professional NBA player. So with that comes this kind of, you know, situation where you're going to be offended by it because yeah, they're talking about he was talking about his son that he wasn't, I guess, a player or at that standard. Like he's better at the D or B vision or whatever
Say
uh,
G. Yeah, he
the
wasn't.
G
He's
League.
yeah not ready for the NBA.
Yeah.
He was not ready, and that's what Stephen A's whole point was. He was just talking about the athlete, his son,
Hmm.
as an athlete. But like I read some of people's views on it. They were like, look, if LeBron, he got to understand that his son is now in the NBA, and Stephen A. Smith is just doing his job by speaking on facts, his performance, you know. So, but Stephen A covers it in his show, which is very, very good, and because he followed the kid throughout the whole, his whole career, and he knew that's why he stayed away from when his son, LeBron James' son, was in college. When he heard LeBron James' son was at USC, even though Stephen A's in LA a lot, but he never went and covered. He just left it alone because he knew it was he basically knew that the son doesn't have the skills, but LeBron James wanted his son to play with him so bad. Oh, that's what they're saying because other teams, because he went into the NBA draft and then he made sure that the Lakers drafted him, and then it just goes on and on.
Yeah, he covered that too on some of these podcasts. I think the Gil Arena one too. He talked about that where it was like, he didn't cover Bronny like that in college because he's paid to cover NBA
Hmm.
professional players. So he stayed in his lane, and then when Bronny came into the NBA, now it's all open season for everybody that has their job to do. And the thing is, I guess the question now goes into like, is it is the players right to defend because their feelings are hurt and they don't like what the person is judging their, whether it's their children or even just the player itself, the athlete, or is the analyst, the reporters, in the right? You know what I mean? Like, because when Stephen A. Smith came out, like we talked about with Richard Sherman, it was like they were questioning him, like, "Are you even an athlete? Who are you to speak on what we do as athletes?" And like Draymond Green has been having his podcast, and he felt like, well, I want to speak because these guys don't know what they're talking about. We're the one in the trenches. We're the one doing that. You know what I mean? So that's where my question lies: is like, what do you think is in the right?
So when people do research, just this is just my opinion.
Hmm.
When they're speaking on athletes or speaking on anything, what do they do when they start speaking on a topic or a person or an athlete? What do they do? What do we podcasters do? You know, what do we do? We do research. And not only research, you look at data. You look at the analytics. I mean, you taught me this,
Hmm.
look at the data. The data speaks loud for itself. So of course, and then not only that, they're watching you play, and that's their job. It's to critique, just like we talked about food critics. They critique just because they didn't play or play the sport, but they look at your performance and they look at the data and then they just go from there. But if they go away from there, then that's their wrong. But that's what I believe that Stephen A. Smith just stuck to. He just stuck to the facts, like he mentioned on The View. I stick to the facts because the facts tells the truth. He stuck to the data, what was out there, the performance of the athlete. So he just talked about that. Of course, emotion is going to get involved. You're going to become you're always a father first, but as Bronny is a young man. He's a young adult. He's playing. So you're going to have to expect to be at that high of a level, especially that your dad's in this, but you guys play on the same team, and then you are in the NBA. You have been drafted. Of course, you're going to get a lot of critics, from a lot of different people. But why just Stephen A. Smith? That's another question. Why did he approach Stephen A. Smith like that? Did he approach anyone else that probably critiqued his son a bit? I mean, why go after Stephen A. Smith on the courts? Because that's what I look at is because, like Stephen A. Smith said, it would have been it would have been cool. He didn't say the word cool, but I'm saying it would have been cool or be a man had you called me on the phone and took me to the side and talk about it instead of bringing it to the way he did, and all of a sudden it went viral. And so that's what Stephen A. Smith's like. If you had an issue, because he didn't even know that there was an issue until that night at the game, but he mentioned, you could have called me. You could have had your client, your whatever they call those agents, set up a meeting and call me and tell me how you were upset with, because he said, okay, I get it. Your father, you were upset because I talked about, he talked about the performance. But then later on in the video, on the second show, he's talking about LeBron was shown talking to somebody whispering in ears, but it was something about talking about I'm a father. I forgot what exact words were there, but then Stephen A. Smith was like, it wasn't about Bronny, it was about LeBron James. It was about him. So that's when Stephen A. went off on his last show.
Yeah. So that's the question. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I think at the end of the day, it's pure entertainment, right? You got the drama, you got the happiness, you got the funny, the laughter. Then you have the facts. It's all part of entertainment. Is that
And
something that
emotions
you
are there
see?
too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like the way I look at it. It's like emails and text messages. It's there's no way to paint a pretty picture when you're texting somebody or emailing, and that's why a lot of times I'll have to call somebody and be like, "Hey, what did you mean by this?" Vice versa. It's the same thing. My question now is like, does the players or athletes who are in these limelights, do they understand that at the end of the day it's part of the job, and it's got to be hard. I can see that it's got to be hard to be LeBron James. You know what I mean? I'm now putting myself in his shoes. If I was the king of the NBA and I brought Fatu up and he was doing doodoo, guy ass job, and then I got somebody like Ely here, like on the Wild podcast, being the number one podcast in the world, talking
Hmm.
shit about little Fatu, then I can only imagine Fatu just like crying like, Dad, why is Ely saying that about me, Dad? And then, I got my wife over here like, you need to go say something. And I'll be like, you know what? I got y'all. Then I see you over there, you know what I'm saying, in my arena. I'll be like, hey, Ely, man, stop. Put your, my son's name out of your motherfucking mouth, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's my fucking son.
I was like, what? The fuck you talking about?
I'll be like, you know what I'm talking about, yo. You know what I'm talking about. We're the only damn Samoans here. You doing good over there. I'm doing good over here. We supposed to be family, you know?
Still, what were
Shh.
you talking about, bro?
For real, for real. I'll be like, fuck you. Walk away. You know what I mean? It's
I'm
like,
like, love
I
you
can
too,
see
bro.
both. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. And then that's how you were like responding. Oh, I love you too. My bad if that's how you felt. Then I go on to like, let's say who else? The We Fobs podcast. And I'll be talking hella shit. Yeah, man, I set her straight. Queen talking about this and that. Like, man, does that woman understand? Does she even got game like me? She tripping talking about my son. Does she even got a son? You know what I mean? Then you see that on the YouTube channel. Then how do you feel? Cause you know what I'm saying. Now let's just say you're Stephen A. Smith. How do you feel now that I painted the picture? What's gonna be your response?
You just dug a deeper hole.
Yeah.
You just dug a deeper hole. I'm like, oh, okay, he making it personal now. He started
Hmm.
off personal, and then you even went deeper, start talking about not having kids and so forth. And I'm like, okay, weak ass motherfucker. Yeah, I got something for you. Talk all your shit on WeFiles, but you can't pick up the fucking phone and call me and talk to me and tell about it. But then you want to be in front of an audience and talk all your smack. I said, but shit, Queen got this. I said, but you know, because when we're face to face, you ain't gonna talk your shit like that. But that's the thing. You get into your emotions and then you go out and you just talking, you're all hyped up. You're like, I don't know why the hell Queen talking about this, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But then you sit back like, man, should I have said that? But you already done spilled the milk, cracked the
Yeah.
damn glass. I mean, it has gone viral, and now our the thing that could have been easily fixed is going to be hard because now everyone's going to want to continue that drama. And you're going to see that drama. I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to have this go viral. We're going to keep being enemies, even though we blood. We're going to keep. If this make money, hell, and if it separate us, hell. But you know, it's just digging the hole deeper.
Yeah. Now you got Patrick Bet David, Joe Rogan talking about it. You know what I'm saying? The brilliant idiots that were like, man, did you see what Kenny said to Ely and stuff like that? Yo, what do you think? What do you think? You go to TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You got like what's his name? What's the Samoan kid? The one that talk shit. Come on.
Oh, Sefo?
Wait, from UC Law. Wait, what's his name? Is it Sifa?
Oh, Seth. Yeah, I think so.
No, it's just. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we forgot his name, man. Shout out, shit. Steven. Come on, Steven Foy. Or Steven. Steven Setu.
Mm.
Then you got Steven Setu be like, hey, I Kyle Lua. What the fuck are you guys talking about, huh?
You two idiots. You guys are family.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is exactly why I don't want to see no damn Samoans on the freaking main media because of this shit like this, you know? Now the world sees it.
Hmm.
Anyways, folks, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about this topic about Stephen A. Smith with what's his name, LeBron James. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, for me, cause you know it's pure entertainment. You get what you get. One day, me and you might be able to be on that level. Right now, we got a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how are you gonna handle it when a lot of like hate comes your way? You know what I'm saying? A lot of hate mails, a lot of people like bashing us on their side that are actually more popular than our podcast. Be like, man, look at these two knuckleheads. Like they don't know what they talking about, yo.
I
You know
know,
what I
right?
mean?
We'll only know when the time comes because people always said, you know, you just let that go. Don't read the comments and so forth. But we will only know and know how we react when the time comes. But you know, that's the way life is, and you better expect it because the higher you go, the more you're known out there, you are expected to get a lot of criticism and, you know, a lot of backlash and stuff. So, everyone that goes into this kind of business, who becomes popular athletes, who becomes movie stars, I mean, it all comes with that. So, it comes with the price. So, be ready. Will you be ready, Mr. Kenny Mofanua? Will you be ready?
I don't know, cause
Only time
uh,
will tell.
only time will tell, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be a ongoing stressful moment. You see all these celebrities who were just getting bashed on. You know what I mean? Their name getting like talked on from strangers. You know, like us. We don't know none of them. You know what I mean? Who do we have the right, the audacity to talk and cover these people? Well, because they're on social media, and that's what's hot right now. People just want to know why. I don't know.
It's free game. It's out there. So just like how we're right here, we're live. It's free game.
Hmm.
People do whatever the hell they want. I mean, that's what it's about right now, and people can do whatever they want with their content. They want to see what content sells, and ESPN was like, Stephen A. Smith, you better respond to that,
For
to that
real.
drama.
All right, so we're getting, you know, as we continue into the NBA, the playoff is here, the Western Conference shakedown. Now, we all know the trade as we're still staying with the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, injuring, he's injured now. You know what I'm saying? What am I talking about here? He has an ACL injury. So what's next for the Mavericks? Because Mavericks is the one that made the whole trade to LA. send Luca down there with the swap of what's his name, AD. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Was it a was it a bad trade? Because you see what it is now. The owner for the Mavericks must be, or the GM who made all this happen. Well, let me just, from what I know about the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks. First, I did not know that one of my favorite millionaires that I like to follow a lot, Camo Cuban, Mark Cuban.
Mark
I
Cuban.
didn't know that he sold the Mavericks, so I think he still has a piece of ownership on it, but the majority goes to, I guess it's a woman that owns it. I don't know. It's been a while since I follow sports, but since that's the trending topic right now, I'm gonna do my best to cover it with Ely. You know what I mean? But what I do know is that the Mavericks ownership now, especially these big places, a lot of owners that owns these basketball teams or any sports, they're in it for the money. You know what I'm saying? They don't. The players are just nothing but numbers. They're just another employees. So they want to build casinos, hotels, whatever, allegedly. And in order to make that happen, they had to cut down on the paying these players. So Luka Doncic being one of the biggest pay, his contract was up to get paid. He to renew his contract, and long story short, the man gets sent over to L.A. So obviously, me being a Laker fan too, I'm glad he's out there. You know what I'm saying? That's a big, big plus for us. How the heck did the Lakers make that happen? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was LeBron James. So thank you, LeBron. Who knows? I don't know. But the story is, where does it end from here for the Lakers and, well, the Mavericks? Because, you know what I'm saying? Who do you think got the best deal out of all this? Because bef- before AD and Kyrie Irving went down, they were literally playoff ready to actually take it all the way. The one of the team on the West that can give it to Celtics, because right now everybody on the East knows that the Celtics is coming for the championship. So with the two caliber players that are out, I mean, you only got Klay Thompson, but you ain't got enough ammunition there to keep going forward, man. So that's the question on you. What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't give two craps about basketball,
Yeah,
but but I'm a fan of the Warriors, so I really don't care what's going on with the Lakers or the Mavericks. But since we're talking about it, I can see the Celtics. You know, like you said, they're building their team. Um, the Lakers with LeBron James being on there, I don't know. I don't. I think a lot of they're just trying to build it around LeBron James and what he wants, and so, like you said earlier, that probably could have been a LeBron James move. He probably made all that happen. So
damn. Just speaking of the Warriors, freaking Kai Cenat on First Take. You seen that one?
no,
They invite. I don't know how long ago it was. I just seen it this morning, and he was talking about. It's not even Steph Curry. It ain't even the other superstar. He talked about Barbosa or something like that. One of his friends that plays for the Warriors. It made me laugh because it was very entertaining. Y'all can need to check it out, man. Shout out to Kai Cenat because he's like doing big wave as just a YouTuber or whatever he is. You know what I mean? Like these new spaces of entertainment. Like that young man is making big moves. But yeah, going back to the Lakers, it's gonna be interesting. They definitely have my attention. Like I told you on the last episode, I don't follow sports no more because we're podcasters and we've just been learning this as we go. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. I mean, I guess the next question is, who's the new king of the West? Is it Denver or is it the Lakers? But it might be the Thunders. I don't know. It got me interested though to definitely check out some NBA. I think I'm more of a I enjoy basketball more than football because
yeah, because
I
football
see
gives you
myself.
too much stress.
Yeah, because the Niners
Yeah,
exactly, and yeah, that's one thing.
yeah, because you used to watch more football back in the days until you realize how the Niners just be messing with your heart, your stress levels, and
For real, man,
it's
it's
like
not
the
good.
Niners when they lose or when they're doing bad, it controls your whole emotion and it just ruins your whole day. So I'm glad to see that you kind of went away from watching the football games because you're not as stressed as you used to be.
For real, our family, we're all about that.
Oh, we're
Even
all
my
about it,
in-law
yeah.
knows.
And I still like watching football, especially the Niners. But every now and then, we've been busy. We've been busy with podcasting, and we have our work, our 9 to 5 to go to.
Hmm.
So, but when I do catch a game, I catch a game. Sometimes, if we're able to go to the Seahawk and Niner game, I'll go. Or we just go to meet up with friends, and where they have the San Francisco Niner Booster Club out here. We go to a lot of the events out here. Um, I'm still a Niner fan. I still love the Niners. People are always like, "You live here in Seattle. You've been here for 20 plus years. You should become a Seahawk fan." I'm like, "Hell no. I'm gonna stay. I'll stay true." But speaking of trades and all that stuff, Niners have made a lot of moves. And I know when we were talking about it last night, and you didn't even know a lot of stuff. It's like, whoa. And I say, yeah, my brother used to be on top of the Niner game, but now I only see it because it be coming up on my feed, because I follow the Niners. And, of course, the big one is the trade of our wide receiver, Debo Samuel. He is now with the Washington Commanders in exchange for a fifth round draft pick. So congratulations to Debo. I mean, I loved having him here, but it's sad to see him go. But I can see that the 49ers are just trying to restructure their team because we have a young quarterback. And then, they released a whole bunch of, it's like at the end of an era. That's what people are saying. Like, we released fullback Kyle Juice. Juice. Juice is gone.
Mm.
He's been released, and that's one of the marks of beginning or the end of because he was our fullback. And then we signed a quarterback, Mac Jones, to a 2 year, $7 million contract with $5 million guaranteed. Damn, can't wait to get a guarantee like that. So he is expected to be the backup for Brock Purdy. That provides depth for the quarterbacks. And then the defensive line changes. We released lineman Malik Collins and Javon Hargrave, you know, part of the broader strategy. And then we added Demarcus Robinson. 49ers signed him, but they re signed Curtis Robinson. And that's most the updates for the Niners. And then we just go to Washington Commanders. That's a team to actually look out for. They're good. I think they're going to be tough. I think they're going to be good this year because they already started being good. So they got Laramie Tunsil, and then they got Javon Kinlaw from the Jets, and then
Mm.
Dietrich Wise from the Patriots. Seattle Seahawks made some moves too.
Yeah, they did.
They transaction that went down was DeMarcus Lawrence. DK Metcalf went to
The
the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Hmm.
I was like, wow. Dallas Cowboys made some defensive adjustments. Kenneth Murray they traded Kenneth Murray for a sixth round pick for Tennessee Titans. And then you got cornerback addition. It's Kyer Elam for the Buffalo Bills. Los Angeles Rams made some. Dude, Cooper Cup was released. And so
The
that's
Hawaiian kid. Was it Hawaiian or
get
Samoan?
someone. I think he's mixed. Puka?
Puka. Malo
Yep.
Puka.
Malo Puka. Puka's doing great things out there. So then the Eagles. It's a lot of stuff going on. Josh Uch, how I say his name. He's on there. The Bengals made some moves. I mean, this is a time where all the teams making moves, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing teams who haven't been to the Super Bowl to do good. I know I'm a big Niner fan, and I see our team being restructured, but I like I'm watching out for the Commanders because I think they're going to be good, and also the sleeper out here in the West, but they're in a different the Chargers. the LA Chargers, head coach by Jim Harbaugh. I think they're gonna be a good team too, but I don't want them to win. Just want the Niners to be back on top. But
Didn't you also mention like the Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders with Pete Carroll being the head coach? I didn't know that. I thought he was retired.
yes, Geno Smith has been traded. That's another thing I forgot to say. He is now with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I didn't know it was your wife that mentioned that Pete Carroll was out there.
Yeah, see, I don't. You know why? I don't care about football anymore, guys and ladies and everybody that's tuning into the White House podcast. I have I won't, I don't want to say the word elevated. I just have different interests now. You know, I think the podcast has made me curious, has piqued my curiosity and interest to something different, like politics, financial literacy, real estate, stocks. You know, it's just different interests. Like sports right now, I'm just not into it. Why are we talking about it again? Because that's what's trending right now. So, shout out to you, Ely, for covering that because, you know, I don't know nothing about it and I don't
Well,
care anymore.
yeah, it
I'm
just
more
comes on my
interested.
feed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just because I unfollowed all that too. I unfollow all the 49ers.
Oh,
I
okay.
I can't wait to see Kyle Shanahan get fired. That's I'm always going to stand for that. I think
You've
he
always
is the
talked
main
about
one.
that.
Yeah, but other than that, man, that's all I got for sports, y'all. And the next one, as we continue, why do we bring that up for sports? Because that's what Stephen A. covered. You know what I'm saying? We started off with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Mavericks, and Edie went ahead and added NFL to it. There y'all go. Another thing Stephen A. talked about was Jay Z, the legal battle. You know about that one? That fighting
No, what legal
that
battle?
the legal battle. Some woman was accusing when she was, I don't know, allegedly 18 or younger than that, did a lawsuit. So the lawyer who's known for picking up these kind of lawsuits, I don't know, something about that where Jay Z. The reason why Stephen A. brought it up is because Jay Z is continually fighting for it to press take it to court because he don't want to stain his name and because he's a businessman and you know Jay Z's empire, what he built, it's not a thing to put that attachment on label him in the P Diddy realm and who's the other guy that we just talked about, the Hollywood dude? Come on,
Epstein?
Weinstein, Epstein. So you
Mufao
know,
Maswing wo.
yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah, yeah, keep going.
we're covering the trending stuff, guys, because that's what it seems like social media is into. You know what I'm saying? And it's about the justice, the money, and or is it a pride? So, but it's I can't even ask you that because you're not even aware of that. You know what I'm saying? But that was one thing that was like he was talking about it, and I think Candace Owens was talking about it too, just like all these people. Well, Candace Owens was really talking about. I guess her name is I forgot her name, but the dude from Ryan Reynolds and his
Oh,
girlfriend Blake Livelihood or something
mm-hmm.
like that. I don't know what her name is. It's another actress and stuff like that, and she's putting a spotlight on that of the egotistic and the way Ryan Reynolds is, which I was never a big fan of him. My wife enjoys his movies. It's funny thing is a lot of women that I talk to, they're Ryan Reynolds fans. And I'm just like, and when I talk about him, they're like, "Man, you're just a hater." I'm like, "I'm not a hater. I just don't think he's a funny dude. He just seems to be one of them guys that are lucky to know somebody, to produce or have money to produce whatever he has ideas of, and he gets to be this on the spotlight." But
I
I
think
mean,
he
Candace
he
Owens is
he does
covering it.
too much. Yeah.
It is too much, you know.
Ryan Reynolds is like the same character in all the movies that I've watched so far. It's just the same. It's like he doesn't change in the way he acts. It's like the same personality all the time. Um I'm not a big fan of him, but I know him, Deadpool, he's funny, but it's like okay, it's just that same actor, different movie. You know what I'm saying?
Some say he's not even a regular. He's a. I think that was Candace. Oh, Candace Owens said that he's a B actor. You know, he's not a. And I'm just like, damn girl. But then when I looked at him, like, you might be onto something, Candace. You might be onto something. Because I do like the chick flicks that he's the little romance comedy ones that he's on. I like them on those kind. But like these main blockbuster movies that he's coming out of, I'm not a fan of Deadpool because I don't think he fits that part. To be quite honest, that's just me.
Mm, okay.
And the bigger picture here: celebrities fighting back against accusations. Is this the future now? Don't you notice that? A lot of celebrities, like Ryan Reynolds and his girlfriend, I forgot her name, fighting back for they're fighting back against the accusations that they're getting. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these celebrities are just getting accused for this, that.
They're fighting defamation of character.
Yeah,
They're fighting to keep their reputation. I mean, hell, even President Trump had to fight for his name. I think he's still going through legal battles. Melania Trump, she sued. I think I don't know who, but some women on the View. I don't know, but I remember hearing all that. You know, these well, they're not celebrities; they're political figures. But you're right. There's a lot of stories coming out about lawsuits just because they're being sued and they countersue, and so it just keeps going back and forth.
yeah. 2025, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about lawsuits. Celebrities and those that are like popular, well, celebrities. They're just fighting back for trying to savor their character because they're just getting attacked left and right. So public opinions versus legal system, who really wins? Who really wins, Ely?
Public opinion.
You think so? Yeah, it does.
They control the narrative, man.
The legal system used to work, but now the public opinions are like really. I think even speaking of that, like Michelle Obama, she came out with a new podcast. I seen it first on TikTok this morning. My wife's like, "Oh, Michelle Obama got it." I feel bad for her because a lot of people on social media don't like Michelle Obama. I believe in IG, Instagram alone, she had like about I don't know, just a lot of followers, maybe 60 plus, 90, whatever followers, and then YouTube. When this podcast was launched, it's her and her brother. It didn't have a lot of numbers. It didn't have a lot of numbers.
Mm.
And the question is that the media people are putting out there is like, has she lost her touch? Like you said, the public opinions of a lot of social media people are really destroying a lot of these people that are like celebrities and people that are known. You know what I'm saying? If she brought out a podcast like when her book sold back, what, 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, it would have went somewhere. But now they're shining a light on her, and it's almost like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. That's the Michelle and Obama. Everybody loves Obama. They're starting to really hate Michelle Obama, and that's not my words. That's just what I'm seeing on social media, and I'm just like, man, what's really going on? You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on here, y'all?
That's crazy. It's the narrative that the influencers put out. That's what people go by. Um, the legal system, I hope it works. I wish it works, but it's slow because they're doing their thing. It's always slow, but by the time to do damage control, I mean it's out there. Social media, the influencers, they have the power. Social media is, you know, you, people are be judged on this. Is It's just crazy, and that's my first time hearing about Michelle Obama having a podcast and that she's not. It's not very trending. I didn't see anything, so that's.
It's gonna be trending on people that covers it on a podcast
But guess what? That's
because
how she's going to get That's how she gonna get followers when they keep
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah. That's why the show like The Voice, with Whoopi Goldberg and all of them, it's like people cannot stand these women and their platform, but they're very calculated because people keep talking about them. A lot of stories that are covered on social media is because of what the Voice panelist has to say, the
And
Voice
they're
host,
trending. They're
and they're
trending.
trending.
The View is trending.
Yeah, they're standing by their own beliefs, and I think that's the wonderful thing about entertainment. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I mean, if you don't like what we're saying, I highly encourage you to start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We already have a few playlists on our channel, the YouTube channel, that can teach you how to get a podcast. And if you need a platform like we're recording, we will be leaving everything on our link below. Not on this one that we're on live, but just check out any of our playlists. It has our Riverside FM connect to it. That's how you can get connected, and you're welcome. Yeah.
Welcome.
So, Stephen A. Smith is more than just sports. He's a culture force. He's taken on racism, political stuff, and social justice. Should sport figures be this outspoken? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look at him. He's got a big old contract, man. 5-year contract, 4 years, something like that.
That's what you're getting paid for. It's a new way of bringing out the message. You know, back then, like we were talking about, people were just come on and talk about it, give the news. Oh, and today's forecast, or today's da 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 da. But when you actually have debates and you have controversy and you're going back and forth and you're looking at the person and just going, no, I don't think this person did this because he dropped the ball, blah blah blah. I mean, that's what they did. So, absolutely, that's why Stephen A's up there, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm a fan of Stephen A. Smith. I've always been a fan of him. Yeah, and then so the power. Let's talk about the power of his brand. You know what I'm saying? Straight shooter, TV star. He's also an author. Straight shooter book, which I'm going to actually pick up Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? And then he's an entrepreneur, podcast, does all these other side hustle, investments, hint, hint, something that we all should look forward to. You know what I mean?
That's the way to do it is make your money work for you, and that's what we've been learning reading books, right?
Yeah.
And being on this podcast took us on that journey, and we're currently on that journey. Is that's we're seeing all the business, even these business owners are doing, like we're talking about Stephen A. He is, I'm sure he's reinvesting money in other things, but man, it's all about reinvesting your money, let your money grow, and having excess cash and stuff. So that's our goal. That's why we're learning stuff. And like Kenny mentioned earlier, you mentioned earlier, bro, your interests have changed
Hmm.
because your mindset has changed. Before it was all about Sunday football, Monday night football, Thursday
Yeah.
football. Do not bother me for 2 hours because I am getting ready. Even before you get the game shows up, you are game day prepping the night before. See what outfit you're wearing because that was important. To see what food you're about to cook because that was important. And you had a tradition of doing things, and so that was the life at the time. But then when you start becoming educated, you start pouring into yourself and investing in yourself, learning how, what was important to you. Football used to be important. Now it's life. Now it's life, living life. And what you have, take care of yourself and your family, and your interests changed. That's why I went from football to educating yourself by you reading books, because that's what you've been doing. That's what we've both been doing. You've been listening to different podcasts. You've been getting mentors from different people on different topics, on business and stocks, investing. I mean, that's a big change from just watching football, or making sure, like, or other people, let's just say, go out clubbing, the youngsters and stuff. But then now it's this. That's why we're here doing the podcast, because we know this is number one podcast, and we got a lot of donations coming in, and so our whole mindset changed, and it's all about our why. And so our mindset is all about making the money's going to be there. That's what me and you always talk about. The
Mm-hmm.
money's there. It's just us delivering, you know, bringing people together on our podcast. And I can't wait for the future and to to talk more about. I need to stop right here because before we talk about stuff I'm not supposed to talk about. But yeah, man, it's investing in ourselves is very crucial and important. Investing in our health, investing in the mind. So
Yeah, you talked about we're doing a lot of reading, and it's a lot of reading in finance, a lot of reading in leadership, entrepreneur business, understanding, even the reading books of like warfare, understanding how to get ready for battle. It's one thing to read, but if you're not applying any of those in your life, it's not going to take you anywhere. I can honestly say since we've been on this journey with the Wiles podcast, finding it because our eagerness. I mean, who would have thought that we would start a podcast? One, two. Who would have thought that me and you would be a host? You know what I'm saying? With the circle that I had before, our first cousins, my siblings.
mhm.
Who would have thought that? Cause, but it was the eager of us like wanting something better for our family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think that's where it starts. Just like, and that's why I keep bringing up people like Patrick Bet David, people like Mark Cuban Jr. Because I see myself in them. So Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Hart. These are people that I've like admired because of their background, what they came from. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's a story of everybody. And one thing about all of them is like they never stop. They never stopped believing in themselves and they were accepting failure. First
Yes.
person I ever heard say that is a lot of people can't stand him, but it's a dude from Florida, a rapper. They used to call him. They call him like the dude that at Wingstop used to sell wings and stuff. I forgot his name, but shout out to that MC because he said, "I embrace failure. I embrace failure." You know what I mean? Because that's how you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
You know. That's why sometimes, and I'm going off track, off topic. No disrespect to those who preach the word to me, but if you somebody and I know who you are and I see the way your life is, that you've never walked a single day in my footsteps, I'm not gonna it's in one ear out the other. And I'm not gonna sit here and try to debate with people. I'm just gonna like agree with you to your face just to get you out of my face. Does that make sense? And move on. Like, yeah, I don't know. But that's just from reading. I just wanted to emphasize that to our listeners. I want to encourage y'all, man, read onto these books. There's a lot of great books out there. I'm not going to put it out there because as I read, I learned that you don't want to give out all the gems, you
Mhm.
know? So, and I want to also challenge our listeners, man, if you think that, like, check out our first episodes, our few 49 episodes, and see the way I talk. It's a lot different, y'all. It's a lot different. So, I'm there with you, cuz. But anyways, man. So because we're highlighting and just leaving the topic on Stephen A. Smith, his beef with athletes, you know what I'm saying, and celebrities. Who's been the biggest Stephen A. rival out of all of them between the athletes and the celebrities? Who you think has been his biggest rival?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just
I
brought
don't
that
even
up.
know why there's beef. I mean, he
Cause
he
there
just
was a lot, like so
Mhm.
many, like that's how he was known. He even had one with had he had one with okay, look, I know it was just off the dome of my head is like Richard Sherman definitely was one, and that was entertaining. I think he had it with a few rappers. I also think he had it with a lot of sports players for sure and celebrities. So I don't know. Let us know, guys, and
yeah,
everybody that's
type it
tuning
down
in,
or
man.
let us know.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think, man. Who is his biggest rival? So rapid fire. So here, let's check. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Here's a quick take. Stephen A. Smith versus Skip Bayless. Who's really the goat of sports talk? I'm asking you, cuz
Out of
between
those
Skip,
two,
yeah,
Stephen A. You talk about sports talk.
yeah, sports talk. And why? Why you say Stephen A. versus Skip Bayless?
I should say Stephen A. 'Cause I just rather listen to him talk.
So when you hear Skip Bayless, what do you hear from him? You don't really pay attention to him.
No, it's annoyance. My problem is with some people, like when they're trying to teach or talk, if their voice is annoying, I tend to tune
Oh,
out. That's just me. A little tidbit about me, yeah. And if you talk nonsense, if you take all long, if you take the long route to come to finally get me to the point, I'm just gonna tune you out until you get to the point. So yeah, if you're not entertaining, and I'm just gonna shut you off here and just nod my head.
and then what about the Dallas Mavericks? You think they're cooked this season, or they still make a run for the playoffs?
I can't answer that questions because I don't know where they're at and I've never followed them. And like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of basketball.
You're only a fan of Golden State Warriors.
Yep, because they're from the Bay, so of course I'm a cheer for them.
So is Stephen A. future? Could he ever run for? You know how they say, can he ever be potentially the next president, the future president?
So you're asking, can he? Of course he
Is it?
can.
Is yeah?
There's a big possibility, but will he? No. He's already announced, he already said it on the show, Jimmy Fallon show, that he won't. But you have to remember, once upon a time, Mr. Trump was asked the same question back in the 80s and 90s, and he said, "Oh no, da da da." But then years later, he ran. So who knows? Stephen A could change his mind next 4 years or next 8 years, but he can. He can because the Democratic Party does not have a leader right now. They're just running around with their heads cut off like,
Yeah.
it's just there's no leadership there. Right now they're just screaming and yelling and there's no organization. So that's what they're missing. And that's why they lost, just like what Stephen A said. So they just need a leader and imagine if he would step up and become a leader for that party. He can be the next president or in the primary for the Democrats to be the next president of the United States. But okay, that I answered your question. What other
Nice.
rapid fire question do you have?
Well, this is
Oh,
the last
hold
one.
up.
Yeah, go
Nope.
ahead.
What are your thoughts on that?
Which one?
Can he be the president? Stephen A. Smith.
Can he be the president? Nah, he ain't gonna win. My personal opinion. He can try to run for it, but he won't get the votes. Why do I say that? He doesn't. He's just sports is just one single part of. Well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, because I was trying to be a smartass, Donald Trump was a real estate and a businessman, and he became the president. So yes, he can definitely win. And will he be a good? The question is, can he be a good president? I think so. He's reasonable, but does it really matter who the president is? That's my question
It
because
does.
I feel like until we can as Americans can finally bring these so how our folks used to call it the two percenters out of the shadows and see who they are for who they are and crush them, nothing's gonna change. That's my personal opinion. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. And if you don't know, tune into the episodes or check out our old previous episodes what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's a good one, cuz. So Stephen A. Smith is just a pot isn't just a broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen. He's a movement. He loves people love him, people hate him. But you gotta respect the man. You know what I'm saying? And my last question is to, for you, and I answer it to myself, and then those that are tuning in, drop it below. Comment below. What do you take out of him from this man that we just talked about, Stephen A. Smith? What was the biggest lesson that we as a people can learn from Stephen A. Smith's success?
Great question.
Mm,
Be yourself. Keep on going. That's what he's been doing. He's just
yeah,
himself. He's real, and he never gave up. And we don't see what he goes through behind the scenes. Only he can, and only when he does tell the story, maybe he has, and we haven't seen it or read it. I'm gonna get that book what you're talking about, so I see what's
straight
straight up.
shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to check out that book. So I really can't say much about but what I can say just from what I am seeing, um, he's straightforward, and what I've learning from him is just speaking the truth, and the truth behind it is have facts instead of what people are saying. And you just gotta fact check everything, you gotta vet everything instead of just hearing from one person and then run with it thinking that's the truth, one-sided story. There's always a lot of, not two sides, but there's a whole bunch of things behind each story or each thing. So basically, facts matters.
yeah. Consistency. Believing in what you're working towards is what I gained from his success. Standing of what you believe in and being transparent, being very transparent about yourself. One thing I know about him, he's always been saying that. He he's a successful man, but he's not a man that a family man to have a wife, to have a partner and stuff. But he's always stood of what he believes in, and that's what I got out of it, man. It's just to be consistent. All the mistakes, all the failures that he went through, learn from that and become better from it. Because all the failures that he went through, it led to where all these gigs that he has. He's an entrepreneur. His success, his failure, his story is what made him was able to go into that table, into that room, and talk to all these people of why he should be getting paid the way he just got paid. And that's what I learned from him. Never giving up. Keep going forward, but always continue to get better. Whether it's reading, whether it's going out your comfort zone, because the man's been everywhere. He's tried everything. Experiment. Don't be afraid to change, but stay true to yourself, like you said, like Ely said. When everybody can close their eyes, they think about Stephen A. Smith. The man always has a suit on, always stays clean. He's always confident. You know, he swear up and down he's like the best looking man in the world, and I'm looking at him like he got a big ass forehead. I think he's one of the most unattractive person. Pause. I think I'm better looking than him, but to each its own. You know what I'm saying? So, confidence. Stay true to who you are. Never settle for less. Learn from your failures and keep going. You know what I mean?
Many.
We are now going to go to this week's shout out spotlight. Highlight small business owners. Queen, Illy, it is your turn. Do you have anyone that you want to highlight this week?
This is your segment, you got this.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, man. Today's week, man, I want to go ahead and highlight one of my brethren, my pastor brother, Pastor Ray Sasa from San Diego, Seventh Day Adventist, out there in San Diego, man. Shout out to my Uso, man. For those that are looking for a light, for hope, seeking somewhere, so a brother to even pray for you. Man, tune into the brother, man. I'll post his stuff, below the link and stuff like that. But that shout out to you, Pastor Ray. Congratulations to your Philadelphia Eagles, Uso. I am so sorry and delayed. I know I was going to tell you I was going to give you a shout out. My brother is a one of the biggest Eagle fans that I know on this planet. So congratulations to your Eagles. You know what I'm saying? The Us was an Eagle, and he's from fucking Bangbango, American Samoa. We talking about dudes from the '90s, baby. Well, you talking about a real fan? This motherfucker's a real fan. And you know why he became a freaking Eagle fan? Because he's from Pango Pango. If y'all know, in our village, they represent the Eagles. You know, they're Fako, the Fako, what is it? Tashi race. It's a freaking,
Totasivas.
it's an Aeto. Aeto means eagle. So that's that's Ray right there, man. Shout out to you, brother. Come on, Ray Sasa, man. Closing it out. I'm gonna drop it right here to Ely, man, with the. Go ahead, cuz.
Our motivational post.
Let me do that
We like
again.
a motivational post time. How many of ready? So tonight, want to let you guys let you guys know that it is important that to keep your mind going. Um, your success is controlled by your thoughts and your actions. So on our motivational posts, we just love encouraging our people out there, our listeners. Because with everything that's going on right now, we want to make sure that we always give a piece of encouragement at the end of our show. Although we just started cursing and cussing here and there, we ask God for forgiveness. But you know what? I just want to say, remember that you are the only one in control of how you think and how you act on the road to success. So, what is success to you? Rhetorical question. What are you doing through the road of your journey? Are you reading? Are you meditating? It's all about what you do. You're the only one that has control of what success looks like for you.
And that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. I'm Kenny Mofanua,
And I'm Ely.
and we are out. Shit, pasa shit, querer shit.
Tales of the hustle,
Oh,
dreams
damn,
come
that's even
alive.
wrong, yo.
Building the future,
No,
watch
that's
them
cool.
strive. Why
Why?
use? Why
Why?
use? Tune in and vibe the drive.
Yes.
Why use? Why
Why?
use? Tune in and vibe the drive.
Hey, that's a good way to end it. Hey, yeah, disclaimer. Read it. Yeah, man, that was a good one, cuz. That was
It
a really
was.
good one.